What's up, boys? It's been a minute. It's been a good long minute. And I've been leaving y'all hanging. It's been a minute. I've been slacking on the YouTube deal. I kind of let it go hardcore for a while. I think it's been like 2 months since I posted a video. But you guys for sure have been checking in on me like, hey, you alive? Did you die? Like, are you still like what? Yeah. I appreciate that. I really do. I really appreciate all you guys commenting on Instagram, on YouTube, whatever. Like, hey, Matt, what the fuck's going on? Like, did you die? Like, what the fuck? You know what? Y'all are right. For a while, I kind of gave up on the YouTube deal because I was just like so damn busy. I'll go ahead and say it because I don't really care. I'm involved in 2 different grows, and if you can't figure out what I'm saying by saying I'm involved in a grow, then you don't need to know. But I'm involved in 2 grows on top of my day job. The one is kind of in limbo right now because we're waiting on some official paperwork stuff that's not really working out. And then the other grow is actually taking off. We're actually like beginning a run right now, so that's consuming a lot of my evening time. And then also some Saturdays or Sundays I'm also at one of the grows. If you're familiar with growing, you know that it can be a very time consuming task. The things that I grow take a lot of attention. And yeah, so basically, you know, even if you're not in a run yet, it's setting up, getting stuff ready, getting everything lined up, doing all the paperwork, going out, getting the plumbing right, get testing, all that. Anyways, I haven't had a lot of time to record, and I've also kind of had to not mess with the truck too much because I've had to deal with that, and I just haven't had free time. But I've actually, today would be day 13 since I've had COVID symptoms. So I have finally gotten back on my feet. I finally feel normal and alive and human again. I got pretty rough. I didn't get the whole breathing deal. You know, the first, like, basically Labor Day weekend we went to float the river. And that Saturday night, kind of started feeling like shit. And I wasn't drinking on the river or nothing. I was, you know, just eating and drinking water. Like, I just felt like crap. Something wasn't right. You know, I just couldn't figure it out, but something wasn't right. Woke up Sunday morning, felt like crap. I was hot. We went home, checked my temp when we got home. I was running a fever. And then did a COVID test at home and popped positive. So the first like 5-6 days, it was kind of just like basically the flu. I was just really tired, really drained, didn't feel like doing nothing. And then I don't know if I've mentioned it or not, but for the past 3 or 4 months or so, I've had a really bad stomach issue I've been dealing with, where I don't know if it's IBS or something like that. I've been taking a lot of probiotics and stuff like that, try to get my gut back straight. Because basically what happens is I barely want to eat. I don't have an appetite really. And then I have to go take a shit within 10-15 minutes of eating. And it's painful and it's not a good time. So I've been trying to figure that out. Well, let's say day like 5-6 of COVID, I got the GI side. Some people get the whole pneumonia lung deal, and some people get some stomach issues. Well, I got like super stomach issues. It basically felt like I was in the middle of a sit-up, like cramping my abs and stomach for 4 straight days. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't sit up. I couldn't move. I couldn't lay on my side, which is terrible for me because my back is shot. And I basically can only fall asleep in the fetal position. And it wasn't working. I wasn't sleeping good. I lost my appetite. I got to where I couldn't eat. Went like 4 days without eating. Went to the hospital, was dehydrated. They gave me some fluids, basically smacked me on the ass and said, you got to get over it at home. Get the fuck out of here. Came home, and then luckily Monday, September 13th, was my birthday. And that was the first day where I was like, okay, like we're doing better. Progressively this whole week, today's Friday, I've been able to eat more. I've found, like I said, yesterday and today are about the first 2 days where I feel normal again. And like I said, today would be day 13. So, trust me, guys, I was the biggest one of, you know, fuck the vaccine. We don't know enough about it. You know, fuck all that. Well, basically our whole house has gotten it at this point now. And everybody that is vaccinated that got it, they're not doing too bad. They're not having the roughest time. Their symptoms really aren't that bad. I mean, they're still struggling. They're still having some stomach problems. Still feel like crap. But they're not going through hell. So, sounds to me like the vaccine does do its job. It does soften it a little bit. So, I'm not going to tell y'all to go get the vaccine. I'm going to tell you to do what you think you should do. If you don't want it, don't get it. I'm just saying, from what I've seen, the people that did have the vaccine and got COVID did pretty good. They had less symptoms than I did. So, I will be getting the vaccine in a couple weeks. My doctor said I need to wait 2 weeks as symptom-free, then get it. And I'm going to do that. That way I can go to concerts and stuff again, because a lot of those are requiring vaccinations, blah, blah, blah. At this point, who cares? Fuck it. Ashley got the vaccine. If she's going to turn into a three-eyed zombie, then so will I, and we can just be zombies together and die in peace. So, anyways, let's talk about the truck. I'm basically going to catch all up on all the stuff I did and didn't record. And then I've got plans this weekend to try to do a little bit to get back, you know, kind of get some stamina back and come out here and work and do stuff. Because through the rest of the fall, I'm going to be super tied up with the growing. And if I get a lot of stuff done this weekend, basically I can cruise the truck all fall and drive it and not have to worry about little stuff I need to fix. So, basically, the truck is drivable. It's roadworthy. It can be driven. We did finish up the brakes. I got the bumper hung on it finally. I left it kind of crooked. I've lost the new bolts I bought. Couldn't find those, so just found a couple bolts, put it in there, torqued them down really hard, and then got up and looked, and it was crooked. So I was like, well, screw it, whatever. I'll leave it crooked and let that be my little signature thing. I have the sagging bumper, whatever. But let me pop the hood. I haven't really done anything in here. Next thing to do really is to take the doors off. But I'm going to try to do that this weekend, get the windows wired up. But basically, we got the ABS delete completely done. I think where I left y'all out, we were starting this, but we hadn't finished it yet. So James came over, made this bracket up. We hung this proportion valve. I think we did the body side lines, but we didn't get these bent up quite yet, which is a bitch. Bending brake lines is not fun. I had a little crappy cheap tool and it just was not a good time. So got lucky, did it. I kind of twisted this line, so it's probably kinked a little bit, but the brakes work good. I bled them. I drove it, slam on the brakes. They don't lock up, but they bite really hard and you stop fast. So I'd say it works. I'll probably bleed it another time, you know, after I put some more miles on it. Let shit work around a little bit and bleed it again. But it's pretty good. Between the ABS delete and the NBS master swap, it made a difference. Like the pedal's not where I like the pedal to be way up to where you can't barely breathe on it and the brake, you're hitting the brakes. Like that's how I like a brake pedal. I don't like it to sink at all. That's kind of how it is right now. It sinks a little bit, but it's hard. Once you get to the pedal where it's actually biting, it's good. So anybody that's thought about this upgrade, for sure do it. It's good stuff. But we got rid of the ABS module, got rid of all the stuff that was hanging on here to get ready to do tubs. Got this wiring as cleaned up and tucked away as I could. I fabricated this little mount. So basically I took the fuse tray that was out here, chopped the base off of it, kind of modified the plate, and took a piece of ABS plastic and made it line up with the cruise control module's bolt holes, which this one didn't work out very well. I kind of had a little bit more work to do, but I wasn't feeling too great that day, and I just stopped there. But I made this plate and glued it to the old tray. That way the cover would still snap into the tray, and it still didn't hold the cover, so I had to zip tie it, but the actual fuse box and all the fuses and relays are stuck to the panel, so that worked out pretty good. This is the oil pressure hose I've got to switch out. I've got the copper line for that. That's one thing I'm going to try to do this weekend. I've got to switch because when we were getting tuned, I'm pretty sure I talked about it, when we were getting tuned, my oil pressure deal was leaking on the back of the block. So I put a factory one in there to get it to quit leaking for the tuning process, because it was making oil pressure every time. So I was like, okay, screw it, it's got oil pressure. But I've got copper line to redo that the right way, so I'm gonna try to do that this weekend. I kind of want to do something different with my intake, I really want this thing over here, but that's gonna mean me stretching this line, and I really don't want to do that, but I think I'm gonna have to, because I would much rather this be like right here than right here, at least until I get tubs. Now my idea is, when I have tubs, if they're gonna come up a little bit right here, and I'll probably have to move some of this, but I'm trying to get it to where basically the tubs are right here, and I'm gonna create like kind of a box, an air box, so this is only getting fresh air and it's not getting hot air off of the tire and engine and all that. But for now it works. We did kind of a more conservative tune, and I don't drive the shit out of it really, so heat's not the biggest problem on air intake temps right now, so I'm not too worried about it. I did make the old radiator mount brackets I had. Basically the fan shroud I got from Axle here local. It's from an 08 NBS style. I couldn't really get a good way to mount it up other than this, but it did fit right up. Remember, this radiator is the radiator for a 6.5 diesel, so it's kind of not what this shroud should go to, but it fit pretty much everywhere without me having to trim it or modify it at all. Like, I didn't have to do anything to it. I just put it in here. It gave me a proper mount for my steam port line. It gave me a proper mount for my upper radiator hose, so I was pretty stoked about it. And then basically I bent this. So remember, that was the original radiator mount, and then I basically took this strap, bent it, kind of cut it up, and then I welded it to the original one. That way it's just one bracket, so if I ever need to take the radiator or fan shroud out, I can just unbolt these two bolts, and then boom, I can take the radiator and fan shroud out, no problem. And then I got the pigtails for these fan mounts, and then spliced them into my Nelson fan harness and fixed all that up. So now I have quick connects. If I ever need to take the shroud out, I can just undo it there instead of having to cut wires. And they work, and they work great. Now it doesn't get hot at all at idle, or if we're just sitting stopped. Driving this truck if you're moving like on the highway or whatever, it never goes over like 192, 193. Never gets hotter than that. But if you get into like stoplights, or you stop at a stop sign, or like when I got it home, I've drove it once all the way to work and back, didn't have any issues. But when I got home that night, I kind of let it sit here and idle for 5-10 minutes, went up to 201 and cycled back down, no problem. So we don't have heating issues at all, which is awesome. That was something I was kind of nervous about, but looks like going with the big 6.5 diesel radiator and then having proper fans on it, looks like that fixed my problem. And then we got the brake straight, and then the bumper hung. That was kind of about all I've done. That was good enough for me to say that I could drive it. So that's the little catch up on where we were. Also, when I had it in here, did a fat little burnout, one tire fire. Of course, the other one's Bluetooth, you can't see it. I kind of want to be a shithead and weld the diff. I'm really thinking about that. I'll probably go ahead and do it because these are cheap ass tires, and I don't really care about the chirping when you turn or anything. It don't really matter to me. But when I do want to do a burnout or want to make a rip or whatever, both tires turning at the same time is a pretty cool deal. So probably weld the diff here shortly, probably this fall. But after the drive, I did notice, sitting here looking at it, made me think about it, I am rubbing slightly right here on this fender still. I don't know why. I checked everything and all the bolt holes and the tabs and perches, the flip kits in the correct spots, like nothing moved or shifted, but the rear end sits just a little bit closer to the passenger side, because this driver's side tire didn't rub at all, and it sits farther in. But then you come to this side and it's rubbing, and I can't fit my fingers in on this side. So I think I'm gonna have to get it up in the air and I really don't want to take the tire off because these lug nuts are kind of cheap, and I want to try to minimize taking them off until I get decent ones. But I may have to take the tire back off and beat the snot out of the lip right here a little bit more, or I may take the grinder to it and just cut it and trim it. But anyways, got to do that so I don't eat through a tire. That would suck, you know, blow a tire out that way. And then my main things I'm gonna try to get done this weekend, the doors, I'm gonna try to switch the doors to the electric ones I picked up a while back. Got lucky, one's white. I'll have to take my outer door handle off of mine and put it in here, but it does have the interior door handle, both sides do, which is awesome for me. So I can actually open the door from the inside, and they're electric, and I have the plug and play electric window harness. So all I've got to do is wire it up hot and ground, run it through to each side to the doors, splice it into the window motors, and then boom, I've got electric windows. So I'm gonna try to do that this weekend. And then I also got the new pins and bushings. Here's the copper line for the oil pressure bill. I don't remember what, oh, they're in here. Yeah. So got some little ching chong door hinge kit. Yep, there's the harness for the windows. I bought a switch for no reason. And then I got a bunch of grommets and tie downs so I can go back through and double check all the lines and electrical stuff that I have and make sure all that stuff's secured and not doing things that don't need to do. So, and I kind of want to put my new tail lights on this weekend too. I think it's time. I'm going to put those on. I was going to wait until I painted the truck, but that may be a while, and I want my cool tail lights on here, so we're going to do that. And then one of these bulb sockets is trash. Remember that whole bulb socket ordeal? It's one of these two. I can't remember which one, but it's kind of janky, and I have a replacement socket. I'm just going to replace the one that's janky. so that my blinkers work correctly. And then I'll buy a new set of AC Delco ones or GM ones later. But basically, if I do all that and put seat belts in it, because I don't have seat belts, and I had, the one day I drove it to work, we have a cop that sits in our parking lot at work all the time and watches the intersection, and he saw me leaving and he was like doing this, and I was like, and he was shaking his finger at me, and I never drove it after that. I drove it home that night and parked it, and then he saw me another day and he was like, man, you better get seat belts in that hot rod you got. I was like, all right. He was like, I know it's a little project truck, but you got to have some kind of something holding your ass in there. And I was like, okay, cool. So I got to put seat belts in there. I think I'm going to steal the ones out of my dad's parts truck that's down here conveniently in my front yard. I think I'm just going to steal a driver's side seat belt out of that, because I don't really have passengers in here too much yet. Get that in there so I can at least be legal and safe. I'm a seatbelt guy, I always wear one anyways. I've seen a lot of people fly through windshields. A lot of my friends have gotten seriously hurt flying out of vehicles because they didn't wear seatbelts, so I've always been a seatbelt guy. So anyways, that's kind of a catch-up video. I know I've been slacking hardcore. I'm sorry, guys. It is what it is. I'm 27 now. I just said my birthday was Monday, so kind of sucked. I had COVID for my birthday and didn't do anything, but it is what it is. But basically, that's the scoop, guys. I'm gonna try to do videos more often. I'm trying not to leave y'all hanging for 2 months again. I just don't have a lot of time to do steady like 3, 4, 5 videos a week, but I am going to try to at least get you 1 or 2 a week, you know, as I can, or as I'm doing something. I may start a channel for the grows, but that gets kind of weird, and then I'd be having even less time because I'd be editing videos for that, and we wouldn't make any money on that channel because it's about weed. So there's that. It's not really worth it. So I don't know, there's a lot of stuff I'm trying to figure out how I want to do it. But as far as this fall, we've got a new motocross track that's opening in town, in Del City. If you guys are familiar with Oklahoma, Del City's kind of close to us. It's about 20 minutes away, and basically a big dude that does a lot of pit bike events in Stillwater, he's opening a track here in Del City, and he's going to bring that pit bike action down here. So he's having an opening race. I want to say he said it was going to be in November, but he doesn't have the date set yet. Mooney's going to race it on his 250, and I'm going to basically, you know, help Mooney that day, you know, be his crew and help him get his bike ready in between races and stuff like that. So I'll definitely be filming that. I get all this stuff done this weekend. I'm gonna at least try to take the truck out to like Cars and Coffees. I'm gonna try to do a trunk or treat, you know, with the homies, and bring the truck out and try to get out to a few meets. So I'll film that when I take the truck out, of course. And then Whitebeard, we're wanting to get something going on the dually this fall, so we're really planning on focusing on him this winter. Getting his 6.0 fixed up, gasketed, get the cam in it and all that, get his heads off, get his 480 refreshed, getting him a drive shaft and all that, and then he'll have the dually going. So look forward to some dually content this fall. And then hopefully I'll have some time to do the stemmy truck. The trick is I'm really tight on cash right now while we're investing in these grows and getting them off the ground. Once we start getting some cash flow in, then I'll be able to start getting after it on my 5.3, get this thing gasketed up, cleaned. Remember, we're going back stock with this one, so I'm going to go through it, basically do a fresh seals and gaskets all the way through it, and then I've got to get the transmission rebuilt for the stemmy truck. Then we'll put those in there, and then the stemmy truck will be up and going. So we'll have some content on that this winter, hopefully. Don't know. So I'm rambling. that's it. You guys are caught up. I'm going to try to do some nice videos for you guys this weekend on the progress I make on the low country. And other than that, I really thank you guys for continuing to reach out to me and asking, you know, hey, where's the videos at? Which you guys have really motivated me. And coming back from COVID, like, I'm telling you that I was about half dead. Like, I'm telling you, I've never been that low mentally. Like, holy shit, there is like no relief. I don't know. I feel like I have like a new lease on life now. So like I'm motivated again, and I'm feeling that's the reason I'm standing out here recording this. So thank you guys for sticking with me. I ain't gonna leave y'all hanging again. Hold me to it. And other than that, peace out, be human, and we'll see you next time.